Great. So, hi, everyone. Thanks for being here and joining us today, either live or via recording. I'm Teresa Schwerin from the Institute for Global Environmental Strategies. We're a GLOBE partner, and together with our colleagues at NASA Langley Research Center, Goddard Space Flight Center, and the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, we have a project called the NASA Earth Science Education Collaborative, or NESEC. And over the past few months, I know we've all been struggling with how to best support schools and families. And we wanted to share some resources and opportunities from our project to help support science at home and families. If you could go to the next slide. So the NESEC project, our goal is to enable broad participation in authentic NASA Earth STEM experiences for lifelong learners. And we do that through three areas of interconnected activities, many that you're probably already familiar with and have actually participated in. And those are citizen science with Globe Observer, student investigations with NASA, which includes Globe campaigns such as Trees Around the Globe, Globe Mission Mosquito, the US Air Quality Campaign, and also Globe Clouds with satellite matching. And one note there, while Globe Observer and Globe Student Investigations are listed separately on this chart, they're all part of the Globe program, and all of the data is available to the entire Globe community. The third area there is engaging strategic partners and collaborators, and that ultimately help us to reach and deliver NASA Earth Science and STEM experiences to audiences from local to international. And the Globe Network is a key part of this. So we're going to start off today with Marilei talking about the Community Clouds Challenge that kicked off today. Jessica is going to share a Clouds Guide for families, and then Cassie and I are going to talk about some broader resources and how you can get involved and provide feedback. A quick note, the slides are going to be posted on the community event page as well as a video, and we'll put that link in the chat at the end. So if you could go to the next slide and turn it over to Marilei.
Okay, hello everybody. It's so nice to be with all of you. Again, my name is Marilei Robles, or the Clouds Lady. It's so exciting that today our 2020 Community Clouds Challenge is starting, and this one is different. And we hope that you're able to participate in one way or another. Can I have the next slide? So like we were saying, there's three ways for you to participate, and we might want to make sure that no matter where you're at or your circumstances, that you feel part of the community. No matter how you participate, you are being part of this Clouds Challenge. So we've made at-home activities that you can do, weekly videos with NASA scientists and Globe educators, and then taking the cloud observations as long as safety is first, okay? And so let's go into the three ways that you can do participate. Next slide. One of the ways that you can learn more details about how to look at all these activities going to the Globe Observer page. If you go there, you'll see the first beautiful thing is that artwork we did for the challenge. If you click there, it'll take you to a page that has ways to follow on social media, which is how we recommend follow Globe on social media for the latest updates and activities that we'll have throughout the campaign or the challenge. The NASA feature that went out on nasa.gov, the scientist blog, and then the challenge homepage. Next slide. So at-home activities, we have this beautiful cloud activity tracker for you to keep track of how you're participating. There's multiple ways within this tracker. If you notice, there's little clouds, and each cloud has a way to participate by either engaging, learning, observing, or creating. And then you can color in that cloud based on the activity you did. And then at the end of the challenge, you can see what was your total cloud cover based on the activities that you did. Under activities, those are the four main categories. And then they're available in English and some in Spanish as well. So we are about to release this activity tracker, hopefully later today, in Spanish as well, and in multiple languages. Next slide. Weekly videos, okay? The NASA scientists and Globe educators have stepped up in a magnificent way. We'll have videos that actually started last week and tomorrow and every Thursday at noon Eastern time on the NASA Earth Facebook page. This is when they're gonna premiere, and they'll feature in science topic and an activity that you can do at home. The first video last week was about how to read the satellite match tables that you receive for each cloud observation that you do either through Globe or the Globe Observer app. So make sure to join in. Can I have the next slide? There's different science topics. So tomorrow we're gonna go into what is citizen science and why does NASA care about citizen science, clouds and weather, and really focus on geostationary satellites, then on clouds and the Earth's climate, aerosols and air quality, and then in the impact of your observations. So how cloud observations are being used in research. Next slide. With each video, there's gonna be an at-home activity that's gonna be highlighted. If you look at the activity tracker, you'll see a little Facebook premiere icon, and that means that that activity on the activity tracker page is on one of these videos. So we'll go over cloud cover estimation, cloud in a jar, cloud clues, up in the air, and then cloud fun. Next slide. And then the third option, this is optional, okay, for this challenge, because safety is first. We are a community and you are our priority. So this is why we have these three different ways. If you feel that you can do an observation following your local guidelines and requirements, you are more than welcome to do so. You can do it through Globe or the Globe Observer app and make some cloud observation, take some pictures as well, some photographs. But this is optional, and we always remind you that safety is first. Now I'm going to pass it on to Jessica, who's going to talk about the Globe Clouds Family Resource Guide.
Thank you so much, Marile. And thank you, Cassie. I see you've just plopped in a question. If you guys can all answer, how often do you engage your families in Globe? And I'll take a moment to let you guys answer about that. While folks are typing, Cassie, go ahead and move on to the next slide. Thank you everyone again for joining us. Again, my name is Jessica Taylor and I am a scientist at NASA Langley and with the Globe Partnership at NASA Langley. And I'm getting a chance to present to you specifically our resources from Globe Clouds on the Family Guide. And I wanted to share with you a few tips that I found helpful to us as we were developing this. This comes from a website that is listed there that we'll put in the chat. And the three tips to summarize at really high level. The first one about promising practices for engaging families in STEM is to make sure that the STEM activities are easy and that the materials are accessible so that parents can repeat them at home. And what we mean by that is, do they have the resources to do it? Is it something that parents feel confident and family members feel confident in implementing? And if you're not sure, the best thing to do is to ask families what they're comfortable with doing and leading an activity at home. The second tip that they provided was to connect STEM with what families are already engaged in. In other words, is it culturally or community relevant to them so that way they already have that piqued interest? And then the last one that libraries do, I think probably the best of most informal and after school programs, is to give families the resources directly with them that they can take them away. We've heard so much during this pandemic of opportunities for family to pick up make and take bags with really easy directions for families to do STEM. And that's certainly one of the best practices. Oftentimes something that we think is something that you would readily find around the house, maybe not be true for all families. And so by being able to provide some of those resources, we're really ensuring that families can do this activity together. So if you've got an opportunity, thank you, Marilei. She plopped in the chat the URL to a full white paper from this organization that has more details on how to engage families in STEM. Go ahead to the next slide. So what we wanted to do is to share with you today the Clouds Family Guide. And I think the most important thing is to figure out how to get to this resource. Many of you are familiar with Globe and the many different places that resources like to hide as little treasures for you to find later. And so you really need to know how to access our NASA support page for the Globe program. And Marilei just plopped that in the chat, and it's the one that ends in school. And so, Cassie, I'm going to go ahead and try to share my screen, and I think it's working all right here. Wonderful. So what I am going to do is to show you if we went directly to that page, and that page is accessible to us from either the teacher's guide. If you go into the teacher's guide and go to Clouds, you can find the URL. You can also find this URL if you were to go to Earth Sphere, Atmosphere, and hover over Clouds, you'll find this page. And this looks a little different than your protocol page. This is something that's actually managed by the Clouds team at NASA Langley. And so we have a lot of updates and resources here specifically about satellite overpass. And down here is where you'll find the link to the NASA Globe Clouds Family Guide. And when you go to that page, you'll be able to access the information. Now, Globe gets confused because I keep popping things back and forth into English and Spanish, but this is a great practice for us. So if you see in the top right-hand corner on my page on Globe, we went ahead and translated all of the information in the Globe Family Guide into Spanish. And in fact, while we're sitting here on this version of the page, I want to show you too that the videos that we prepared in here are the ones that are actually in Spanish. So that way it's accessible to the families that you're working with that need it in Spanish. So if we switch back over to English version here, then you'll be able to get a chance to see how we've separated everything out. So I'll pop down here to our family guide, and you'll see that we have put information on how to record observations, and I'll show you a couple of tips for families on that in a second here. More information on those personalized satellite matches. We hear so much from participants in Globe and Globe Observer, how they really love that feedback of seeing what the satellite, what did the data the satellite collected from space above them compared to their observation on the ground. So that's what you can find there. In the do activities about clouds, that's going to be information on the hands-on activities that you can do as a family. And then videos, again, are some of our videos that we've already made on activities that you can do with your family. And so you could see here, Marilei and her girls, and this is me with my girls doing some activities. So I'm going to stop share. Excuse me. Go ahead, Cassie, and share the slides. Next slide, please. So this here is just that family guide. Go ahead to the next page. So one of the biggest things that you might be able to do with your families is talk about how to make observations. So they can certainly make observations with Globe and with the app, but they also might want to make observations in something like a journal. And so we've provided for you some sentence starters. How can they start to make these observations together? So here's a couple of them. Looking at my sky, I notice. And these are incorporating those science skills of recording, observation, asking questions that you can model with your family. Sometimes we think of this as a classroom resource, but it can certainly be used at home with families as well. Next slide, Cassie. And another great thing to model for families is just discussion. How could you have science discussion as a family? So Excuse me. So a couple of the examples here. What shapes do you see? Are they similar or different? That's adding those extra words in there. How would you describe the clouds? So these are some examples that you could apply for clouds, and you could also think of these questions and maybe provide some other examples for the other types of globe activities that you do with families. So now that my voice has completely gone out, I'm going to go ahead and toss it back over to Teresa and Cassie so they can show you about some of the other family activities that we've developed.
Great, thanks so much, Jessica. And we hope we get tremendous participation in the Community Clouds Challenge. And I have to say, the Clouds Family Guide, a big shout out to the Los Angeles Public Library, a Globe partner, and the Neighborhood Science, NESEC, librarians, the branch librarians gave us some wonderful feedback on that guide. So we're really looking forward to people using that and getting involved in the challenge. And so we wanted to tell you about some more resources. If you go to the next slide, Cassie. The next one is a new resource. It's called a Mosquito Investigation Notebook. And if you have been involved in the Globe Mission Mosquito campaign and some of the webinars, you may have seen an earlier version of this. We have an updated version with a companion guide for parents. We think this is a really good resource that could have a lot of use at home. It models a science notebook and includes guided investigations related to Globe Mosquito Habitat Mapper. And we're planning to have new investigations with tips for parents roughly every 2 weeks starting in August. So you can go to the link there to download the guide now. I'm going to tell you at the end how we would love to get some people involved in giving us feedback on that. If we could go to the next slide, and Cassie's going to tell you a little bit about the Family Phenology Fun Guide.
Thank you, Teresa. One of the activities that will be in the notebook is Family Phenology Fun, which is just the study of the cyclic nature of the lives of mosquitoes, for example. And as an activity that you can do at home using just a thermometer, we're asking people to look for places around their home where they possibly would find water, a source of water for the mosquito to lay their eggs. It could be a sump pump or an unused floor drain or a bucket of mop water that was left and forgotten, but those types of places. And then we'd like people to take a temperature reading to find out what the temperature is, take a look at the water, and then photograph that and then record the data in their mosquito notebook.
Great. And if you go to the next slide. And the last resource that we're going to tell you about are some simplified activities. These are one-page activities. And you think about some of the things that Jessica was talking about earlier, and some of the things to make activities friendly for at home and parents and families is to provide things that are simple, that a parent can feel comfortable and confident in doing them. And so Heather Mortimer from NASA Goddard on our team has developed simplified versions of these 4 activities related to Cloud in a Jar, which is one of the Community Cloud Challenge activities, build a mosquito larvae trap, making a map, and build a clinometer. And so they're very simple versions. They don't require any special equipment. The materials are things that tend to be available around the house. And we're going to be putting up a draft. We have a draft page. We want to get some feedback before we make this live with more information for parents and suggestions for parents. But for all of these resources, we would love to get your feedback. We would love for people to use them at home with their children and let us know what you think. And if you go to the last slide, Cassie, we need volunteers, and we're looking for our Globe colleagues to try these out at home and send us feedback. And so we've got a sign up link where you can sign up, and probably in the next 1 to 2 weeks, we'll have the form up for you to, see the questions that we're asking, but you have the links now that you can start looking at and decide whether or not it's something you want to get involved in. But it'll be one Google form that you can go to sign up for any of these resources. So we hope we're going to get a lot of folks volunteering. And thank you all for your time today. The slides are going to be on the community event page right after this. I'll upload it. They may not go live right away, and we'll put the video of this recording, the recording of this webinar up there as well. So thank you all. We have a few minutes. If there are any questions or links in the chat, can I sign up to distribute to teachers? The things that are live, absolutely. The simplified activities are available on the Globe Observer site. They're in different places. The page that we're going to have for parents is going to bring those together with additional information for parents. So if I hesitate slightly for sending out the Google form, but if you have particular parent teachers that you think would give good feedback for using these at home, let me know, and I think that would be fine. So I don't know that we're going to get an overwhelming rush of folks, but we definitely would like to have them sign up, Tracy. Thank you.
And we're an informal group, so feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question also.
Teresa, if I can add on to that, in terms of promising practicing for engaging families, that feedback is a really important piece, right? And that's a continuous process, right? That you continuously try to solicit information and feedback from your families about what they're comfortable with and what they might need to move forward. And I think that this is part of our process, right? Is continuing to refine these activities that we've developed for families and help, and with your help, get more feedback so that way we can continue to make that product better.
Right. And Vivian, thank you for your comment. You already have 2 librarians who created the Cloud in a Jar activity.
Yeah, we did. We actually post them on our LAPL Steam page right now, and next week we're going to rotate, so it will be featured on top of the page.
Oh, great. So they're going to do, they've got videos they've created that are going to go out on your Facebook.
Yes,
Awesome.
It's already there actually, but we're going to feature it, so it will be on the top of the page when people go and click on the page to see.
That's great. And I also wanted to note that the LA Public Library, your translation team, has been helping us out and have translated all these things into Spanish, but also you have on your site for your community in Chinese, Korean, Japanese, and Farsi, and that is just awesome.
Yes, we have actually asking us to translate as much of materials, especially related to STEM and NESEC as much as possible. So this is actually our first time trying it, to do all the translation. If this works out great, then we're going to proceed with translating all of our STEM and naval science materials. Yeah.
You are a great partner to work with.
Thank you.
Are there any
partner with you guys?
Any other comments in the chat, Cassie, or things to note?
Just a quick question, the recommended age, grades, youngest, oldest, so what's the range here? Thank you.
So maybe we start with the Clouds Family Guide. The Clouds Challenge is all ages, right? K to gray. We want to get everybody involved in that. The Family Guide, Jessica Madeleine, did you want to comment on the range for that?
Yeah, again, a wide range. And one of the things in the Family Guide, as well as in the activities that have been developed with Globe Observer, are suggestions for adapting it for younger students and suggestions for adapting it with older students. Oftentimes, many of the family resources are targeted at kind of the elementary grade level, with then modifications that can be made either if you're going down to preschool or going up with, say, middle and high school students.
Mm-hmm. And Christian Weaver put the link in the chat for the one-page activities that are available online, and those are designed for broad range. The Parents Guide, will include some adaptations for younger and older learners. The Mosquito Investigation Notebook, our target range is roughly ages 9 to 13, but certainly it could be used up or down from there. And Cassie, the Family Phenology Fund
is also K to whatever it's a family activity. So with adult supervision, you can do most things.
Great.
All right, great. And thank you all for great work that you do. It's a pleasure seeing, I met most of you face to face. It's great to see you all doing great. Stay safe and be well, and hats off to everything you do.
Well, Larissa, that was an awesome comment to end on. So thank everybody, you all, for being here. Good to see folks, and stay healthy and safe.
Bye, everybody.